Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. We are so excited to have you again. Yesterday, as promised, the Ogun youth play host to Sunday Igboho, who had already left some antecedents behind him. We know his story in Igboho, how he, carried the youths along and sent packing killer Fulani headsmen. He's already in Ogun State and he was welcomed by a huge crowd, an indication that they were really waiting for him. From some of the information we've obtained from different media houses pointing to the fact that they were actually in need of them, and even a statement by one of the government official points to the fact that they needed someone who can help them out in fixing some of the insecurity issues that they had in the state. But shockingly, the governor of the state, Governor Abiodun, had released a statement, and it's quite a shocking one about Sunday Igboho, and you won't believe what he had to tell him. And according to the news, the governor, Dapo Abiodun-led government in Ogun State, has said it did not seek the help of Sunday Igboho to chase away the Fulani headmen in the state. There had been reports of killing and kidnapping by suspected headsmen in different areas of Ogun State. Residents of Yewa, Abeokuta, North Odeda, and some parts of Ijebu have decried what they term the inability of government to tame the killer headsmen, whom they accuse of killing, raping, and kidnapping innocent citizens. On Monday, Sunday Igboho stormed Yewa axis of the state with a threat to chase away Fulani headsmen in Oja, Odang, and Igwa. He said the governor of the state had spoken up against the gruesome killing of his people, allowing him to visit the state for the mission. But the Ogun State government had refuted the claim that it requested the help of Sunday Igboho to help combat crimes in the state. According to the statement signed by the State Commissioner of Information and Strategy, Abdul Wahid Adusile, on Monday, the government said it will neither welcome nor endorse any initiative that amount to self-help or is outside the contemplation of the Constitution. Odusile expressed sadness that a statement credited to Honorable Remi Hazan, the Special Advisor on Public Communication to Governor Abiodun, that the state would continue to work with all the stakeholders to ensure security of lives and property, was twisted to mean that the state had invited Sunday Igboho to help curb insecurity. This is regrettable and totally misleading, Odusile stated. At all times, the government will ensure that all security agencies and indeed all stakeholders operate within the ambits of the law, he said. The statement added that the government would continue to attract and welcome all those with legitimate reasons to live, work, and even play in the state, saying that it is home to all Nigerians and foreigners alike. This is quite shocking, and shocking in the sense that with this statement, it seems as if the government of the day in Ogun State seems not to understand the pains of the people, seem not to buy into the regrets of the people, seem not to understand what is happening security-wise in the state. Now, let's be real, the menace of Fulani headsmen have been felt seriously. Virtually all the states in Nigeria, apart from the South that has not been impacted seriously. But when we're talking about, the Southwest, we know that their presence is heavy in Ogun State and also in Oyo State, Kwara State. They've already taken over that side. It's already a home for the Fulanis. And, Sunday Igboho actually his visit to Ogun State is something that should be welcome by the community. Yeah, I know that every state governor will want to talk about the Constitution because that's what they are meant to defend. But at the same time, it's important for us to also look at the plight of the people living in the environment, what they have passed through, and try to be empathic enough to understand with them. That's the truth. I'm yet to really understand the extent to the operational procedure of Amotekun in Ogun State because I don't think they've launched it yet in Ogun State. But the truth is that those guys have felt the negative impact of Fulani headsmen. Day after day, these guys are taking over. Now, one thing we have to accept here is that the people who are fighting against Fulani headsmen, individuals who are fighting against them, they are not doing it because they don't want them to stay with them. But the whole thing is, if you want to stay around us, why not come and live among us? That is what really matters. You've got to come and live with us. You need to look for a place around the city, around the town, and you guys can collect a house and live there. Not to enter into the bush and begin to extend your living there. You create a wall for yourself there and begin to live your lifestyle. You are not being, you are not under the tutelage or under the supervision of the chairman of the local government. You just feel that everywhere you find yourself, well, that's a home, and you stay there. Begin to make laws for yourself, run your show the way you like without taking cognizance that place is actually owned by other people. Now, let's check out other northerners that are living in other states. For example, if you go to different states, even as far as Port Harcourt, Enugu, Anambra, and Akwa Ibom, you will notice that the houses have a particular environment where they are living. But guess what? They are living amidst the people. They are not living, in the forest. See Kano guys that are living, they're doing their business. Some of them are selling clothes. Some of them are doing shoe mending and shoemaker. A lot of selling oils to different local government. But one thing is certain, they are situated in an environment where you can see them. They pay taxes to the people. They contribute adequately to the development. But hey, when it comes to the Fulani headers, that's not the story. They stay inside, and before you know, they begin to encroach on the land. And before you know, you start hearing issues of, somebody has been kidnapped. And some of them who recover from the kidnap would tell you that they were actually Fulanis, they were speaking Fufu there. And before you know, it's a case of killing, it's a case of maiming, it's a case of wanton destruction of people agricultural product. They enter into commercial farms, they enter into subsistence farms, and they destroy it. And the government is not doing anything about it. Now, the shocking aspect is that the government have refused to put themselves in the shoes of the people. Because the truth of the matter is, if it had happened to your wife, if it has happened to your son, if it has happened to your daughter, you wake up one day and your daughter is brought to your home with bloods around her leg, and she said she had been raped by some persons, and you trace out that they actually Fulani, you will know how it feels like. We have to understand, come to a point where we accept that we are all equal in the face of the law. If it's happening to the other person, put your leg in the person's shoes, and you know that it's really, really terrible. As much as you hate raping, as much as you hate kidnapping, since it has not happened to you, let them try with you. You understand what it means. You understand? So he's going there is, number one, that the government of the day has failed in their responsibility of protecting lives and property. And secondly, that they have realized that the government can't even help them, because before someone begin to call out for help from another person is when you have failed in responsibility. You cannot see in a household where the wife is carrying out her responsibility, the husband is carrying out her responsibility, that the wife will begin to go ask for money from people outside when the husband is giving her money every time she calls for money, and even the children. You can't see children of any man who pays their fees very well going on the street and begging people, please, so I want to pay my fees. So, except in extreme cases of madness or something. You understand? Before you can see someone do such kind of thing. So if the people are soliciting for self-help, seeking for individuals to come in and help them, in other words, they believe the person more than you. So it's for you to look at your security architecture and see how you can walk around it, but then try within your base to meet up with the demands of the people. Because we can't be sitting quietly and be watching you do your own thing and allow us to suffer in the hands of those whom you have permitted to stay around us, but you have refused to protect us. That's the thing. So Sunday Igboho's visit to Ogun State is not something terrible. It's because of the fact that the government of the day have not done what they are supposed to do. Their constitutional responsibility has been dropped, I feel that's the reason. So sending him back and telling him that we don't really invite you, we don't need you, to them is stories for the gods. Guess what? The locals won't mind him standing in front and fighting and evicting some of these very stubborn killer headsmen out of their environment. We know there are some that are very good and all of that, but then we've got to sieve the bad ones out. And since the government is not helping, individuals have to wake up to their responsibility and do that which they feel is okay for them. However, I would like to leave it there. What do you think now that the government say they do not want Sunday Igboho? Do you think he will still stay back in Ogun State to do what he went there to do? Or do you think that he may go back home? Let's interact.